Hello, everyone. Whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching it after the fact, welcome. Hope you're doing well. It is a beautiful autumn Saturday here in the Pacific Northwest. Blue skies, wispy clouds. I can see Mount St. Helens in the distance. It's pretty amazing. I'm noticing some unusual lagginess with my camera and sound. So I don't know what's going on with that. Let me know if it is unbearable or insufferable. I've never seen this before, and it's kind of annoying. So hope it's not too much. I don't know what's going on here. Wonder if there's anything I can do about it. Let me know if that's coming through pretty terribly on your end. It looks really bad on my end. And it wasn't like that before I hit live. Brian Clark is here. Shiva is here. See Jimmy and Randy. Yeah, Cutlass said it looks choppy. So I see different opinions here. UPO says it's bad. Dr. Jacob says it's not terrible. Not too terrible. So I might have to switch my camera. Let me just try this. This is not definitely not preferred here, but 1 second. One moment here. I'll be right back. Is this any better? Sorry for the pause there. It looks a little bit better on my screen. I didn't really do anything but just kind of turn it off and turn it back on. Let's see. Stuart from London. Yeah, it looks a little better. Let me know. Welcome to Max Headroom 2022. Okay. Yeah, it seems a little better. I don't know what's going on. So I do apologize for that. I will hopefully not make this too long so you won't have to look at me glitching out for the entire day. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. As you can see, we're talking about fall fragrance notes today. And as I put in the description of the video, this is a series I've done before on my channel. It's probably been since last fall since I did any videos surrounding this idea of focusing on notes and then, pairing fragrances around those notes. Cyril says slightly blurry. Okay. Well, hopefully it's doable. Or was I? Fragrance notes. So, yeah, I did that. I did those videos in the past, and they never did very well. They're more technical videos, which the masses doesn't really care about. Masses is looking for the easy button. They want to know, yeah, that's fine, but what fragrances are going to make people like me? That's what people want. So That's not what those videos are. So hence they didn't do very well in views. I see Dave Callie's in the room. What's up, man? Good to see you. Husband and father of two. Grease Charnel. It's funny. My wife is wearing that. I see it's getting choppy again. Let me see if I can switch to my computer camera, which is not ideal. But let's see. Is this going to work? Yeah, it looks terrible, but at least it's not choppy. So we're just going to have to deal with that. Let me see if I can at least prop it up. So you're not looking up my nose here. Right. Amazing quality, guys. Only the best quality here on Stay Fresh Productions. Yes, Jesse. No, Cutlass said that. Quality is lower but much smoother. That is the hit I knew I would have to take to make this work. So we're going to have to just deal with the MacBook Air. Terrible webcam quality, but we'll do what we can. Okay. UPO, thank you so much for the super chat. By a dub sack of people nip and play Never Would I Ever at your next party. You are just on a different vibe. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay. So yeah, I figured I would do this kind of series live because I think people would just, maybe it would make it more interesting. People don't want to sit through a pre-recorded video of me talking about my favorite fragrance notes and fragrances that go with them, which, that's the stuff I like, but I don't really expect the masses to like that stuff. So those of you who even clicked on this video, I appreciate it because you didn't have to do that. So I have 5 fragrance notes / accords I've chosen, and I have 2 fragrances per note, 1 designer, 1 niche / artistic, however you want to say it. And all the fragrances are linked in the description below. So if you are impatient, you can go look at them down below and see what we're talking about. But you can also go get you some samples if you're interested as we talk along the way. Jackson, what's up? It's your boy. What's up? Good to see you. Callie's Groom Room. Thank you. Yeah, hit the like button, y'all. It's free. What else was I going to say? Oh, okay. We got one honorable mention, and maybe I'm plugging this too much, but I don't think so. And honestly, it's new and I'm excited about it, and I want you guys to try it. So yeah, we put a lot of work in. I might as well share it with you. So the special thing about Second Soul, I'm not going to talk about it too much, is that we have 5, fragrance notes / accords we're talking about today. And this fragrance actually, by accident, I didn't realize it until I compiled all the fragrances, contains all 5 of the notes / accords that we're talking about today. So if you want the ultimate amalgamation, check out Second Soul. I know those of you who have pre-ordered your bottle, you're waiting patiently, and we will start shipping soon. I'll be making a trip in about a week's time to Chicago to begin the process of getting all your orders ready. So they're coming soon. Plasmodium. What was the idea in going with the larger size for Second Soul? Well, it was kind of a unified decision, not just a decision by me. And there's multiple explanations for why we have a larger bottle, but the one that I like to focus on is the elevation factor. Everything about this bottle is elevated from Brass and Soul, the original. Now we're just talking about the bottle here. The juice itself is a flanker, so it's based on the original DNA, but it's a different personality. But we wanted to make everything just higher quality, including adding this beautiful mirror chrome plate. increasing the quality of this metal cap. And also a bigger bottle, which is something that a lot of people were asking for from Brass and Soul. It came in a 60 milliliter. People were like, oh, that's great. Is there a bigger bottle size since it's limited? And we're like, no, there's not. And now this time around, people are asking, oh, that's great that it's big. Do you have a smaller bottle size? So there's nothing we can do to please everyone. So that's just that. But hopefully that answers your question. Okay, let's dive right into this. Again, I don't want to keep you guys for too long. We're going to start with leather. And I tried to pick some fragrances that maybe some I have talked about before, but it's been a while. But some of them I've talked about. For some of them, I just can't stay away from. They're just hallmark examples for me. For leather, from the designer realm, you guys already know I dig this one, and not everyone does. Gucci Guilty Absolute. This is prime leather. This is a specific personality through and through, unapologetic, undeniable. Wow. Yes, dry, woody leather. Yes, it is a little medicinal. Yes, it does maybe smell like a Band-Aid or smell like a dentist's office or a doctor's office, as people say. But I think it's incredible, especially coming from Gucci. I would love to see them keep doing stuff like this. Unfortunately, it didn't sell too well, so they discontinued it. But it's stunning stuff. Definitely not, even though it is from a designer house, it is not a mainstream fragrance. This is a niche fragrance, guys. I'm telling you. UPO. Thank you so much. Always appreciate you. Okay. For our niche pick, this is one that you probably haven't heard of, and you definitely don't see a lot of talk about. This is coming from a Greek house known as Manos Gerakinis. And this is one they call Omen. This was actually perfumed by Miguel Matos. If you guys aren't familiar with Miguel Matos, he is one of the primary figures behind Fragrantica. He's a perfumer as well. He, I think, has his own small fragrance house as well. And he writes on Fragrantica. This is one that he perfumed. This stuff is... what a DNA here. I'm going to spray some so I can get this opening. So this is very, very leathery saffron, spicy. But there's this like fruity apple in there that's kind of crisp. But also there's this darkness from, gosh, I don't remember what the ingredient is now. It's almost like this maybe it's like bay leaf or something. There's something very camphorous about it, like this dark earthy quality, but it is primarily smooth. No, it's pretty brash leather, but that apple really adds a different dimension that I think makes it more accessible, than some people might think, because not everybody's going to love in-your-face leather. It's powerful stuff. Again, it's called Omen. Let me know if you've heard of this one from this brand. Very, very strong. This stuff lasts forever on me. And it's a very interesting scent. Haven't smelled anything quite like it. So do check it out. There's going to be a link down below if you want to check either of those out. Again, that was Gucci Guilty Absolute for Homme and Manos Gerakinis Omen for leather. Let's talk about tobacco. I know you guys, a lot of you love tobacco. Not everyone does. And frankly, there's other fragrances I think I could have chosen that are a little bit more tobacco forward. But this one is just fantastic. And tobacco is definitely in there. Shiva, thank you. Will we ever get a collection video? Really appreciate that, Shiva. I have done a collection video. It's probably been a year. I definitely did one last year. And I made a part 1 and part 2 I uploaded the part 1, and I was going to upload the part 2 contingent on how the part 1 did, and the part 1 didn't do very well. So I only shared part 2 with my Patreon group. But part 1 is up on the channel. Anyway, for designer tobacco, this one is in the thumbnail. Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Again, not all in, an all out like tobacco fragrance. That's not what I would say is its identity, but tobacco does play a pretty big role amongst the original L'Homme Ideal DNA. Sweet, creamy, bitter almond, fruity plum, and tobacco for sure. Maybe some warm spice like cinnamon or something. I'm actually going to give this a spray here. This stuff is so good, and it's kind of a shame that it's hard to find. At least I think it is, but I know that Decant X has decants, so I have them linked down below. You can get a discount with the code StayFresh15. So try it before you get a full bottle. If you find one, you may not find it cheap, so you might as well get a decant. Man, this stuff is fantastic. I mean, I already love this line. This DNA is wonderful. It is one of the best designer collections, in my opinion, simply because it kind of like runs parallel to what people would consider appealing and popular, but it is its own thing, and all of its flankers create this very distinctive realm where they are true flankers. They are taking the DNA and adding a different personality. They're not redundant to one another, in my opinion. Sir Siage, what's up, man? Yeah, the EDP is also amazing. I think the EDP is my second favorite flanker behind the L'Intense version, which could have been here, but I'll be talking about it in an upcoming video. So Extreme is great. I think this is actually my wife's favorite when I wear this, and she wears it from time to time too. But when I wear this is her favorite one. My favorite is the L'Intense, but she loves that one too. Anyway, so that is our designer tobacco choice. And Shiva, I don't mean to blow you off. I might do an updated collection video if people want to see it, but mainly if I find a way to present it in a way that people would actually want to see. So thanks for asking. Have I yet to give Juniper Java full wearing? I have given it a full wearing. That stuff, it makes my mouth water just thinking about it. It's one of those fragrances where I don't love it, but I can't stop smelling it. It's not something where it's like, oh, that's going to be what I want to wear today. But when I smell it, there's something addictive about it. I don't dislike it though. It's an incredible scent. Okay. Plasmodium, I still need to wear that. I've heard amazing things about it, especially the original version. And I would love to get my nose on it. Okay, let's move on to our niche tobacco. And this is coming from Precious Liquid. This is new to me. They did send this to me, but they actually let me sample it sometime last year. And then they reached out not long ago and said, do you want a full bottle? I said, yes, because I think it's wonderful. Probably one of my favorites from their new collection. This is called Tobacco Royal. And this is it's a fruity tobacco, but it is definitely for fall. A lot of apricot. So it's almost, there's like a dried fruit feel, like a pruny or dried apricot feel with like a dry tobacco. It's not smoky. It's more of like a honeyed but dry leafy tobacco with this pruny dried fruit feeling. Really regal smelling stuff and very good performance on me. It smells elegant. It's perfect for this time. Great for when it's chilly. There's something really kind of intoxicating about it, to be honest. And again, there's a link down below if you want to check that out. Will Baker. That sounds amazing. I need to try that. Royal Tobacco. Royal Tobacco is great. I almost included it here, but to be honest, I like Tobacco Royal a little bit better. If I'm going to compare the two, and I would only compare the two because their names are very similar. I love the Amouage, but this one I find a little bit more palatable. The Amouage can be a little bit too intense for me at times, but it's great. Jeremy, bonjour. Plasmodimo, we're talking about. It changed right as I clicked, so I accidentally put that up. Okay, let's move on to warm spices. Now, this is probably the cheapest fragrance on this lineup. There might be one that's just as cheap coming up here, but it's wonderful. This is coming from Azzaro. Again, we're talking about warm spices. Cinnamon runs rampant in this fragrance, and this is Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. Kind of a hidden gem. I know Ross is a big fan of it. I think he ended up picking it up after we were talking about it, and I think he enjoys that one too. It takes the original DNA. It is kind of this old school barbershop feel at the core, but that is surrounded by this very warm, spicy, sweet cinnamon with a smooth, boozy brandy. Maybe some woods grounding it, but it's basically a barbershop scent turned into a warm, spicy fall fragrance with some booze in it. It smells great. And you can get this thing, I don't know, under 30 bucks maybe. I'm not sure what the prices are looking like these days. What's up, Jesus? Egyptian Smoke. Is that from Alexandria Fragrances? I feel like I've heard of that. Lovely stuff. Great for the price. I assume it's still pretty cheap these days. And if so, I recommend checking it out. Yeah, it's one it could be an everyday fall wear because it has a bit of that clean barbershop feel, but it is still very cozy. Danish Perfume Lover Reviews. Hello. Good to see you. Jesus Miguel, MC, Dunhill. Which one? Proximo, good to see you. Oh, Egyptian Smoke. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Oh, thank you, MC. That's what you meant. I'm pretty sure Alexandria does have an Egyptian Smoke or something like that. I don't know why that's what I thought of. Moving on to our niche pick for warm, spicy. This one, a lot of nutmeg and also some cardamom, which is a cooling spice, but nutmeg is what I mostly get. I don't get a lot of freshness here. This actually reminds me of another fragrance coming up on the list. They're very, very loosely related to each other in personality, not so much in their notes, but personality, yeah. This is coming from a brand that, maybe you haven't heard of or tried, called Lark. This is called Argentium Halo de Lune, Halo of the Moon, something like that. Interesting name. Lovely fragrance. And this takes, that actually got all over my hand. Wonderful. That is so beautiful. This is, again, nutmeg with orange. I get this bright, but not overly fresh, juicy orange with the warm, spicy nutmeg. But behind that, you have this warm, sweet amberwood, which you get more of as it dries. Amberwood is a synthetic, and it adds, kind of this, warm, cozy feeling, like the sweetness of amber with the warmth of wood and whatnot. But it's actually kind of a sexy scent, and it comes out more and more as it dries. So this is very much an amberwood scent, but you do get a lot of warm spices. You do get some oud in there, which is by no means super upfront. It does add some dimension, some darker woody dimension. Really great stuff. This one was actually sent to me by a brand new fragrance distributor that calls themselves Fragrapedia House, and they are linked down below. We have a little code. You can save 10% off of any purchase. And they also, I believe, have decants of every fragrance they carry, so you can get a decant. And again, Richard, this one is called Argentium from Lark. Everything is linked down in the description, by the way. All the names are there, so you don't have to try to memorize them. As I'm telling you, they're all in the description. But, keep it interesting for yourself. Don't scroll down too far. Let's just stay on pace together. We're almost done with the list. actually. Let's move on to woods. We're talking about dry woods. African leather is wonderful. Love that stuff. Fragrance that reminds me of peach cobbler. I have yet to come across one, but I'll let you know if I find one. How do I feel about Guerlain Ideal EDP? I love it. It's probably my second favorite from the collection. Shiva is also a fan of Lark. They have a few others that I really enjoy. I've only sampled them, but I need to revisit them. Stronger with you. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Dry woods. We have our designer pick here. This is not a mainstream fragrance, though, but it does come from a designer brand, primarily known for their glass work. And this is from Lalique. It's called Encre Noir à l'Extrême. A lot of cypress and vetiver in here. That's mostly what I get. I actually have it on my hand. Cypress is this sharp, slightly green, woody quality. Very, very distinctive. You know it when you smell it. It kind of just prickles the nose. And the vetiver here is a little bit on the bitter side, definitely on the dry, earthy, woody side of things. But there are some slightly warm, sweet, balsamic qualities to this fragrance. The way I described it might sound like, oh, it just sounds like bitter, dry, sharp, earthy woods. Yes, but in the middle of that is this slightly resinous feeling, adding a bit more nuance and dimension, making it more accessible. Ironically enough, even though this is the extreme version, this is more accessible than the original Encre Noir, if you're asking me. I prefer this to that. I haven't tried the sport. I've had a lot of you guys ask me about that. Have not tried the sport version, but this is great for a not average woody fragrance coming from a designer house, coming at a very cheap price. Really beautiful fragrance. Um, Something I would wear mostly at night, semi dressed up, or I might just wear it like on a rainy day. It can be a bit of an introspective scent. I really enjoy that. Um, what's the ingredients that gives it the makeup scent? Are you talking about iris? You might be thinking of iris. Okay. Man, you guys are just commenting away. I appreciate you guys being here. Even though it's synthetic, find it so pleasant, not sure. Desert Arcane. I haven't worn that in a long time. I've only ever had a decant. I don't know where that decant is. I actually have a pretty solid clone of it from Sensual Obsessions. It's really solid, actually. I have yet to give that a full wearing. I've only tested it, but it's really, really good. Natalie Lorson said Lali gave her higher budget to work with Azudi. Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, just a surprise, and it's amazing how cheaply you can find the fragrance because it could easily be $90+ as like a niche collection. Okay, let's keep it moving. Our niche pick for woods, dry woods. Now, this fragrance is much more multifaceted than dry woods. But ultimately, it is a woody fragrance. Ultimately, when it dries down to its base, you get dry cedar wood. Jeremy, I do know Bois Imperial, and I think it's a lovely scent. I have it. It's really, really nice. This is coming from Bois 1920, a brand you don't hear a whole lot about, and definitely don't see this fragrance mentioned much at all. This is called Dolce di Giorno. The bottle doesn't look like this anymore. They've changed their bottles since I got this. So this is kind of a collector's item now. But the juice is green, which I've always loved. This like kind of emerald or apple, green apple kind of green. Man. And this one is actually what I was talking about, where these two are a little bit similar. The Lark Argentium is a little similar in personality. The way that the constituents come together, it brings a similar feel. You get this sweet, warm, spicy, cinnamon-like vibe with dry woods, and that vibe is there. But this is ultimately a different fragrance. It is a lot of cinnamon. It is a lot of plum and vanilla, and you also have cypriol, which is this kind of dry, aged barrel, kind of woody feel, along with a ton of cedar wood. Yes, DiGiorno. I've seen that one several times. Um, yeah, this stuff is incredible. I love it. I love it. Grace loves it. When I wear it, she also loves to wear it herself. It's just a lovely scent. And again, as it dries down, that woodiness really takes hold. It's unique. I haven't really smelled anything like this aside from the lark, and I think this came before that. Haven't smelled much like this at all. It's a lovely, lovely fragrance. I keep saying that word lovely, but that's the best way I can describe it. It's really unique and perfectly unisex as long as you love a very woody personality. Devin, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Bentley for Men. Yeah, Bentley for Men, I have to say, is objectively a fantastic fragrance. And I think that's also Natalie Laurson. It's not really for me. On my skin, it gets weird, but I understand why people love it. It's kind of remarkable, especially for the brand it's made for and for the price you can get it. Okay, so we're done with woods. We have one more category, and then we're getting out of here. Booze. Booziness. What's our designer pick? Again, maybe not an all out boozy fragrance, but booze does play a major role here. A true flanker, if you're asking me, taking the original DNA, twisting it, pivoting it towards a new personality, but still very much tied to the original unmistakably. This is Fahrenheit Parfum. Taking that original fresh ozonic, slightly unusual, metallic violet leaf fragrance with leather and other things and making it boozy. Lots of rum in here, lots of this kind of boozy vanilla and a very interesting licorice quality that is upfront and a little strange. If you don't like licorice, you may not like it, but I think the booziness in here is mouth-watering. I want to give this a spray. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to wear tonight. I'm going to an event where I have to dress up. And I was thinking about wearing something that's kind of a showstopper. I might consider this. Man, this is incredible. And if you didn't know, it's hard to tell with the bottle, but the juice of this fragrance is actually green. If you look at the very bottom where it's actually clear, you see the gradient goes from dark to light. The very bottom of the glass is actually clear. You can see as I tilt the juice away from it, you can see it turn clear. And when I tilt it back, you can't really tell, but the juice is green. Why am I talking about this? This is irrelevant. I don't know. I'm such a nerd. This is the parfum, guys. This is the parfum. Definitely sample this if you haven't tried it. There's a link in the description, again, to Decant X. You can use a little discount code, save some money, get you a sample. Man, let's see. If you don't like the original Fahrenheit, I would still try this, but I can't guarantee you'll like this. It is quite different from that, but it's tied to it. If you haven't tried the original Fahrenheit, you got to try it. I don't know what you're waiting on. It's such a classic. And if you do that, then you have to also graduate to trying the parfum. It is a stunning fragrance. Yet again, a designer bottle, designer brand, but not a mainstream fragrance. This is niche, if you're asking me. Bentley for Men Intense. Yeah, that's a big fan favorite. Okay, we have one more niche boozy fragrance. Now, I had a lot I could have chosen for this spot. A lot of great fragrances, and this list was so tough to put together. I chose this one because the intention of the fragrance seeks out to be a boozy fragrance, just by the nature of not only the collection it comes from, but also the brand it comes from. It is trying to represent booze in a very specific way. So that's what made me choose it, in addition to the fact that I simply love it. Maybe an unusual choice, not everyone's favorite, and maybe not one everyone's tried, but I really dig this stuff and it's grown on me. From Killian, we have Lure Vert. Now, I know a lot of people would say, well, what about Angel Share? Angel Share, man, that's the best. Angel Share. I don't have Angel Share. I don't have it. I have tried it several times. I see why people like it, but on my skin, it doesn't work. On my skin, it turns into burned rubber and it smells terrible. But I understand why it's such a favorite. But Lure Vert is phenomenal. I think it translates to happy hour, idiomatically, something like that. Literally, I think it's green hour. This is an absinthe based fragrance. You have like anise or licorice, this licoricey feel with violet leaf and absinthe, Artemisia being where absinthe is coming from. Oh my gosh. It is this like herbaceous, but kind of sweet, vanilla like sweet, smooth, creamy, boozy quality that's a little bit fresh in a way. Apple brandy on the rocks is lovely, but it actually does not come off very boozy to me. That's mostly woody to me, like more like fresh cardamom, crisp apple, and woods. But maybe there's a little bit of booze in there, but this is more boozy to me. It's fantastic. It is a little unusual. This is going to be a polarizing fragrance. I think what makes it weird is the licorice quality. And again, if you don't like licorice, you're not going to like this because it is all up in this fragrance. But it's very, very addictive. And this is it's something that I would prefer to dress up at night when it's a little chilly. I might consider wearing this one too. Me and Grace are going to like this Casino Royale themed party. So we got to dress up. So I might wear this. We'll see. But plenty of these would be great contenders. So once again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. All the fragrances I've talked about are in the description down below, including my new fragrance, Second Soul, which is still available for pre-order, but which we will be shipping soon. So if you do want to be among the first to receive your bottle in our first shipment, I'd say place your order within the week if you were thinking about doing it. Fan Your Flames. Oh man, I almost put that in here. That was the second runner-up. That was runner-up to Lure Vert for me. That one is outlandishly boozy, but I feel like the other elements of it shine just as equally. So I wouldn't just call it a boozy fragrance, but it's an amazing scent. It's fantastic. Linsumi is really nice as well. I love that one. That's one I reserve more for the cooler, the warmer months because it has a bit of a tropical or kind of summery vacation vibe, like a tropical drink. So I like to reserve that one, but you could totally wear it in the fall. It's great. Ricky, there is a link down in the description. As I said, just with every fragrance I talked about, you can find it in the video description down below. Okay, that's going to be that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Monday is going to be a fun video. Monday will be a fun video. Yes. If you missed yesterday's video about why you may not be receiving compliments on your fragrance, which the video is not really what it seems. I do recommend checking that out. It's a short video, but I put a ton of time into editing it and just made a lot of comedy out of it. But it has some heavy hitting points in it, I think, that a lot of you will resonate with. So once again, thank you guys. Pardon the terrible video quality. I'll figure that out before next time. And I'll see you later. Take care.